If you think about it, at the time of the so-called pandemic, there was a lot of people in different brackets of life. And with technology and with the way things are and were in America, there was a lot of circumstances that were presented to the rest of the world for thought, whether entrapping or liberating. And then everybody was making adjustments everywhere. And in the land of the free and the home of the brave, with freedom, liberty, and justice for all, there was always the want for people to still come here and mold themselves after us. And at the same token, look at us in contrast on what would be considered good and what would be considered bad for life. And it had given an opportunity for things in the world, other places, other ways to present a circumstance where basically they had a sense of control. And when I say they, it's the people that don't have to be affected by the things that affect us as working class people, no matter where you are. And that's why, like, the Queen's Jubilee still goes on. You know, that sense of imperialism, that sense of, majestic life that doesn't get affected by these things and is unwavering, still exists. And even though our life takes a back seat, there's a lot of other people's lives that don't. And America has been affected most by all this because we have liberty and freedom here to a degree that other people don't. And, the shifting of racial issues, gun control, abortion, health, vaccines, all these things play a major part as a tool. And yet, the imperialism still goes on, and the subservience still goes on. And there's people that, they just obey. And there's people that don't want to listen to anything and be reckless and endanger people. And then there's the people in between who are confused and they're at the mercy of whatever happens. And they're given like a vote. You get to vote on this and you get to wait at home for a check. And if you're still driving around and have a life, you're going to get taxed, and we're going to see how strong you are with all that. So it's like a thinning of the herd. And then with the transgender thing, that has nothing to do with the gay community at all. And it really is a shift. And you got to understand that just like an addict, that if you continue to do a substance, maybe the opportunity of a lifetime will come along, but you'll just be too high to go on the interview. And then you'll be resentful. And then you'll implode and explode yourself. So there's a sense of insecurity that goes on in being in America and being like in different parts of reality where you may work for a living, you may be retired, you may have a business, you may just not have to work. And, it's going to come down to who you are in the end and how you compose yourself. And there's things out there that we have no control over. And there may come a time where they may affect us, and we have to fend for ourselves and fight for our families, even just to stay alive. And in doing so, that there is a higher power, that there is a circumstance where we could get somewhere with our faith and our unity to believe, instead of being caught in the eye of the dragon and having to deal with that circumstance. Because what is growing and what has been growing is something that has been here for a way long time. And you can call it Rome, you can call it England, you know, you can call it what you want. But at the end of the day, there's something coming. And it's all going to be about judgment. And that's not going to go anywhere. And there's no place you can go. But you could be safe in your own heart and your own mind, and connecting to the people that you honestly feel have a sense of goodness and operate with love and consideration for others and efficiency. And then all this can be taken away. That will go away. But that doesn't mean you have to be a slave. Because I'm not going to be. And in every good movie, the dragon gets slayed. In every good movie, good prevails over evil. And what's left is Mother Nature. And our ability to see that. And hope that the river flowing is one that will feed us and nourish us in the consideration that we can be harmonious with the balance that is left. Whether it's the earth or whether it's just our spirit. And there are people that may pick up their guns and meet people in the street with guns. There may be people that will hide and not make it at all. There may be people that wander around and end up in a good spot or a bad spot, or just remain wandering around. There may be people that will just not be affected at all. But the likelihood of that happening for most of us in the last scenario is unlikely. So what we have to do is we need unity, and we need values, and we need to know that it's not going to be a every man for themselves. Because if the black community feels one way and the white community feels the other way, there's people in between like myself that are going to say, okay, well, there are going to be people out there trying to get their vendettas and, see it a different way because they're hopeless and they're desperate and they're angry and they're fueled. And that's why this is happening in the first place. So everybody's going to get delivered. In the end, where are you going to stand? That's how I see it. Where are we going to stand in the end? That's something to decide on now. What's so civil about war anyway?